Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to all of you Fiberifians who have made it to this live craft and chat. Hi, how are you? I'm trialing something different here, so you need to let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, all that kind of stuff. Because I've had to do things a bit different. I've just realised I need to mute my phone because it just made a big ting noise. That's bad. All right. Okay, I'm having a look here in the chat to see how everybody is going. We had lots of people in here early. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Lots of new faces, but lots of new names. Your mic is different. Yes, the mic is a bit different. Is it different, bad, different, or just different? I will just double check it is picking up the right mic. And it's okay. All right. Let's see if that makes a difference for you. Okay, so I had the wrong mic input because this morning I've been doing a different pre-stream setup because we have a guest. So she is hanging out in the wings. So we will get to her very, very, very soon. I'm just checking to see if everyone's happy with the audio. Awesome. It helps if I'm not using the webcam audio from over there instead of the good mic that's right here. I sound normal now? Thanks, Holly. That is awesome. I'm seeing some names that I see in some of the live streaming, like my Saturday night techie live streams that I go to. So Handwriting Champion Roblox, welcome to the live craft and chat. This may not be what you want, but welcome anyway. I really appreciate you jumping in. I have my colourful cowl on, that's right. John having a dig the other week. I'm like, I finished this, John, all the ends woven in. I also finished this, John, all the ends woven in. Now, I am going to drop down to my overhead camera because everyone's like, oh, no, it looks fantastic. This bit here, this bit is trash. And I need more practice to get that whole stitching onto the zip thing, but I am definitely going to be doing it again because it was so much easier getting the nightmare zip out of the way and then just getting on and making the rest of the project. I regret the choice of yarn that I made. I used some Flinders cotton and I just found it to be really lightly spun. And it drove me up the wall a little bit. So I've got some Katona cotton that I'm going to use next. So did you have to poke through the zip from Melissa? Yes. Yeah, I did. But you used a sewing needle because it's a sewing. There's got a name for it. I can't remember the name. Does anybody in the chat know the name of the embroidery stitch that you kind of do that makes it look like the top edges of your single crochets? I cannot think of the name of it, but it's an embroidery stitch. I don't embroider at all, okay? Me and hand sewing needles, bad, okay? Bad. But I managed to do it enough. I mean, it's not perfect. Chain stitch? No, I don't think it was a chain stitch. It's got a particular name. She's over on Tina's YouTube tutorial that step by steps it. She's got a particular name. It's not running stitch. Anyway, that's my one regret in here and the yarn. But other than that, I'm super, super, super happy with it. Anyway, so today, I'm just going to move that. Today, we are going to be spinning. So I've got some Castledale fluff here. Oh, keyboard's in the shot. Sorry about that. Castledale from Beer Sheba Farm and one of my amazing Snyder glider spindles. So can anybody guess who our guest will be? Put it in the chat if you have an idea of who our guest might be. So let me know. Let me know. So what are you all working on? Like while you're putting that in, also drop in the chat what you're working on. Today I have my current favorite tea, which is the mint slice from Tea Fatalia in Australia. So I am very, very, very excited. We got some guesses happening in the chat here. Is it Scott Snyder who makes the spindles? Is it Wendy from Beer Sheba who makes the fluff? Claire's washing the dishes. So, hi Claire, how are you going? I'm glad you're here. There we go. Oh, look, there we go. Kim jumped in. The first round of the purse is sewn straight onto the zipper using an embroidery chain stitch, which is explained in detail in the pattern. Thank you, Kim. John says the special guest is the sheep farm lady. Game Widows is working on her breakfast. I wish I was working on my breakfast, Game Widows. Washing your twins, okay? I mean, do we need more of that? Need more than that? We've got Handwriting Champion. You're also using StreamYard for this, or are you going directly to YouTube? I'm using, okay, sorry guys, jumping in with some tech questions here. You know what I'm like. I can't help myself. I run OBS into StreamYard as a virtual cam so I can have camera control, so I can jump from camera to camera, because I only have one, I just have an Elgato cam link, so, and everything else is USB. So I run that way in, then from StreamYard out to YouTube. So, yeah. Alrighty. Claire's all good here with the multitasking. So yeah, I love StreamYard. StreamYard is awesome. I've been telling people about StreamYard. I'm like, you need StreamYard in your life. Sally's working on waking up. Sally, you're in lockdown, honey. You can sit in bed on your phone and listen to the stream today. I would stay under a blanket. Under a blanket. Okay, so is Wendy ready? We have Wendy, who is our special guest from Beer Sheba Farm. I'm waiting for a thumbs up from Wendy. Make sure she's all good. There we go. Let's bring her in. Hey, Wendy. Welcome.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Can everybody hear and see Wendy just fine? I can hear and see her, no problem. So I'm hoping you guys can. Chaos Creator says, have you had a million coffees? You seem to be buzzing faster than normal. I've had one coffee. One coffee today. And it made me an extra caffeinated, but it was still just the one. Okay. I'm excited because I've got Wendy to play with today, you guys. I'm not here by myself. That's so awesome. So, Wendy, what are you working on there? I can see your hands are moving.
Okay. I'm just spinning some Duchess. Where's it? Angle the camera the right way. Hey, there we go.
There we go. Oh, beautiful in that gourd. What color is that purple called? Just in case somebody in the stream decides they want to jump on your website, please tell me you have more of it, because it's beautiful.
No.
It's always the way.
No. It was one of those colorways you do when you think, no, I wanted it a bit darker, and so you got it darker, and then you don't go back to the pale one.
Oh my goodness. All right. So Wendy,
yeah.
what's the that's the pale version of what? Is it that purple one that's right behind your head there?
Actually, yeah, it would be. But that's,
so it's the pale version
on
of that
Castledale.
one.
Yeah.
Nice. I've actually got some Castledale that I'm spinning at the moment as well, just on my spindle. So, okay, we have some questions in the chat for you. So keep those questions for Wendy coming. We're going to keep her on edge the entire live stream if we can. That's my goal.
Well, I've just discovered my phone's not actually charging at the moment, so we'll see how long that goes.
Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
It's not the COVID.
Everything's turned on, so I'm not quite... Tech details from the other side of the country.
Yeah. John says it was just one coffee, but it was a 32-ounce espresso. I neither deny or admit. And now someone asked before, I missed the question. Someone asked about lambs. Can you drop that back in the chat pretty please? Because I have missed it. And Melissa Coles wants to know, do you have chocolate lamb for me?
I may have chocolate, which I took a whole bunch of chocolate to Bendigo
Yeah.
because I was going to give it out to all my lovely customers,
Yeah.
and then we didn't have Bendigo. So now I have several kilos of chocolate sitting here in the workshop, and this is probably very dangerous.
Oh my goodness.
But no, chocolate lambs, no.
No chocolate lambs. 'Cause you tend to run more the white sheep, don't you?
Oh,
Just making sure
you actually
which
mean
way
coloured sheep?
Yeah.
There should be some. There's about 20 ewes mated to coloured ram, but not all of them will have a coloured lamb. Last year he threw a lot of coloured boys.
Okay.
So I didn't have many girls.
All right.
And, well, yeah. So,
Apparently,
if
Chaos
anybody
Creator has asked when are the lambs going to be born so they can have naming rights?
In about a fortnight, first week in
Oh my goodness.
August, I'd expect them.
Wow.
And,
okay.
They're starting to look a bit wide, and the udders are starting to grow. So this is a good sign.
Okay.
And then I'm sure that there's bound to be one that will attract the attention of Chaos Creator.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's now sponsoring one, you see, and she's just hanging out for the right one, to be
the right one to
hers.
name. Oh, here we go. Chaos Creator has said, I need a black one like my soul with horns because that seems something that would suit my vibe.
Well, I tell you what, if we get a black one with horns, I won't say it'll be a miracle. I mean,
it'll be
probably about
unlikely.
1 and a. Well, not entirely. I'm doing an experiment this year. See, many years ago, we did have some black Drysdales.
Yeah.
They turned up randomly, and of course, I sort of had fun breeding them for a couple of years, and then we had to get rid of them because there was nowhere to send the wool. So the black gene is bound to be hiding in the genome there somewhere.
So recessive in the DNA of the sheepies.
Yes.
Wow.
So I did put some to the black or the silver English Leicester ram this year. So your wish may come true.
John's saying the exact opposite of a miracle then. But Claire has a very good question, and I should have asked this first, and thank you for the reminder, Claire. Can you tell us about your business? So who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Some of us know this, which I forgot and just assumed, but not all of us do.
Okay, my name is Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
I'm at Sheep Farm, and I'm down in Victoria.
Currently locked down?
In the sunny northeast of Victoria, where we've just had lots of rain. And I have sheep. I've always had sheep.
What kind of sheep do you have?
Well,
what kind of sheep don't you have is probably the better question, isn't
it? Yeah, probably. I started off with merino sheep and some Drysdale sheep because the family's had Drysdale sheep for a long time. And then I started, doing so. Anyway, then I started developing what I now call my Castledale sheep.
Yeah.
Which is a crossbred. What made you decide to start Castledale sounds way better.
What made you decide to start developing the Castledale?
Just as a, I wanted to breed. There was this real trend, you see. You breed composites to breed better lamb mothers than merinos, which are notoriously bad mothers.
Okay.
So I thought,
actually didn't know that, but okay.
Yeah. So then I thought, I'll breed my own rather than buy in sheep. I'll do some things for, to get better milk and grow big and fast and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, so I thought, I'll do this. I've got this and I've got this. I'll cross these together. So I did that. And shawls them, and I thought, gee, this fleece is really pretty. And I wasn't hand spinning then. And I wasn't very happy with the price I got, I must say.
Oh,
anyway,
really?
a year
so
or two
the
later,
price you're talking about is when you take it to the commercial wool sellers, is that right?
Yep. Wool buys, yep. And I was a bit, looked nicer than that, I thought.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wasn't the end goal, of course. The end goal was to grow big lambs later on.
Yeah.
End result was the lambs were limited by the pasture here. So the lambs were never as good as what I thought. But then I happened to have my sister-in-law up here. And anyway, we happened to get spinning. And I said, I've got this fleece, which I couldn't bear to sell. Started spinning, and she's just going, oh, this is really amazing. This is fantastic. It's got real shine on it. You should have a look at this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I did think it was pretty. And then
I did think it was all right.
And I showed Raylene from Inverleigh Farm, and she said, oh, my goodness, this is awesome. This is better than BFL. And I went,
yeah.
Oh, really?
It's definitely better than BFL.
Okay. Wow. And so then she convinced me to get my first batch combed.
Yeah.
So we did that. And so now I have them, and then I got into English Leicesters as well, because what's another breed and another type of sheep, and they're a rare breed, and, and they're pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty. They
drama
have that
queens, but pretty.
Because someone's actually asked here, I'm just going to scroll back a little. If you're going to give the lambs names, what would you name them? Do you name your lambs, or do you leave it all up to the sponsors?
The sponsors can choose an app. Look, honestly, if I think it's going to, you have to be very careful, because sometimes, I won't say it jinxes them, but you have to be careful. Sometimes it really does, can be a very prophetic thing. So you just
Kim,
have to
you
be a
can't
bit careful.
call yours Satan, okay?
So when I name them, they tend to be, I don't know, the names just come to me.
Yeah. Okay.
There's very rarely any kind of great planning involved.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just scrolling through the chat here just to see. There's people singing in the chat, and I'm not quite sure why.
That's a wrong link.
Oh, that's me. I can't bloody type. Hang on a second.
Drop that
I'll
G.
Fix it. Fix it. Just the G that be she bag.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't go there.
Don't go to be she bag.
No idea what that's going to do.
How's that? Is that better?
That looks better.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I actually think one of the girls has grabbed your link from your website and is throwing it in the chat.
Yeah, good on her.
We've got our mods today. We've got Chaos Creator. We've got the original Sally, and I think we've got Jackie as well, who are our mods today, making sure that everybody is being kind and friendly, and also dropping them links for us. You guys here on the Fiberific streams are normally so good that they just get to be naughty and just run around, and we more mod them than anybody else. I'm not sure if any of you have noticed, but I created a poll up you can have a look in the chat about what kind of yarn do you use the most, and what whether it's cotton, wool, acrylic, or mixed blends. So make sure you pop your vote into that, and we'll check that poll a little bit later on. I'm just having a scroll through the chat here, Wendy, because there's lots of Game Widows wants to name them things like when she had lambs, they named them things like roast and chops and barbecue and casserole. I mean, that's the naming mechanism I go with, because we have chickens and we call them KFC and barbecue and apricot.
It just about guarantees you won't eat them, I must admit.
Yeah,
I do know people we know used to call it, that they had one called Sunday roast. I mean, lamb chop's a good one, but...
Yeah, and lamb chop kind of sounds cute too until you think about it. Like, I'm naming you after a portion of your body that I would like to nom on.
Yeah, except I find I can't eat anything I named. No.
Yeah,
can't do
and
it.
that's a catch. That's a catch, isn't it? Abby's named because chickens don't last very long, and we kind of rotate through them as they pass on. We get new ones, and Abby's named them things like cake and pancake, and where eggs go in rather than actual chicken meat. So that's definitely a better option. Crochet with Claire said that the poll has just popped up on her screen on her phone. Awesome. I hope that you can vote in the poll. Oh, there we go. Chaos Creator has named them Woolly 1, Woolly 2, Woolly 3.
Well, last year we had Bibby, and then there was Bobby.
Bibby and Bobby. Okay.
Yeah, and then one of the sponsors wanted to call one Clay, so we did, because he was a bit of a Clayton sheep anyway. Yeah. So we did that.
Clayton
what else
sheep.
did we have last year?
A sheep when you don't really need a sheep.
It was the boy when you don't have a boy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He hangs around. So we've had Lester. Lester was an English Lester, or is an English Lester, I should say.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You have some that act like they're a pet sheep, but they never were, and they end up with a name just because
they just hang around.
Their name talks to me or something.
Oh, hang on. I'm spinning again, so I should change to the spinning angles. So if those of you that are watching that are new, I spin and then stop spinning and then spin, and it's not for any other reason than the fact that my hand gets too hot. And I start felting the fibers in my hand purely with just the will of my hand. Mm-hmm. And so I just let my hand cool down a little bit, and then I spin some more. It doesn't happen as much when I'm spinning on a wheel as it does when I'm spinning on a spindle. But as all I had to really set up that camera angles was I had to move. You know how we've been having the big over everything shot? I've moved that down to be this shot here. So that's all I had to change. If I jumped onto a spinning wheel today, it would have been like, for a start, I would have had to vacuum, and we know how I feel about that. So I didn't want to do that. Kim says turn the heater off. I am not turning the heater off. It's too cold. It's too cold.
Need to wear more wool. Well, now I'm going to butt in, and I'm going to say Chaos Creator. They actually, with the police dog idea, they actually, because all the sheep have to have an individual number for regulation purposes. They actually do. Last year was D, so this year will be E, and they will all get a number. Some of them may get a name attached as well, but the letter for this year is E.
Oh, there you go. I know the guide dogs do the same thing. They have their batches have letters. So, like, if the mother's name was Gina, then all the babies in that litter will be called something beginning with G. So yeah. Claire is asking, how long have you both been spinning for? So you can go first.
I think it was 2015 I started.
Wow. Way to make a girl feel old. I'm like, how many years has it been? I'm like counting back. I base a lot of things on how old Abby is.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's like, okay, so I know it's not more than 16 years. I think it's about 14 years for me.
My neighbour down the road taught me she could do anything, basically. She's one of those sorts of people.
Yeah. We all have one of those in our life, don't we, Kim?
But then she
actually, Kim doesn't.
She wanted her double drive wheel back, and so she took the double drive wheel, and I got I got given the Ashford. Oh, but I don't know how to work it, she says.
Oh no.
And in the end, YouTube saved me, and then by the time I got going again, there was I discovered there was a group locally.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you have a local spinning group?
Yes, when we're allowed to meet.
when you're good point, very good point. So John's jumping in with the e-names here, and I'm just winding. I can't use the mouse and wind the yarn, guys. Hang on, bear with. Okay. Hi, Yarn Dragons Creations. Welcome to the chat. John's e-names have disappeared off my screen. I cannot look at that.
I think there was a Eunice.
There was all sorts of things.
Sorry.
There they are. Eddie, Alula. I mean, I don't even know how to say that. Alulia. I don't know. Eunice and Ernesto. There's some good e-names. That's some good e-names. Melissa would like, if it's possible, for us to have a tour of that colourful wall behind you.
Oh. Wow.
So you don't have to do it right now, but is that something we can do sometime throughout this chat?
Oh, yeah. We can probably do that.
Excellent. Freaky says, this is new. This is new, so is the co-host. Yes. But Wendy is an old hand on StreamYard now because Wendy was one of the sponsors of last year's Big Wool Show. So was jumping in for the live streaming and the interviews that we were doing during the weekend of the Big Wool Show, which is running again this year, everybody. Just a total hijack of today's live stream. Big Wool Show is running again. It's the first weekend of September. So we're going to be running live streams again. It's not going over 4 days this time. It's going over 2. And we're going to have an awesome time. Lots of people jumping in for the live streams again. And, everyone's upgraded their gear this year. So, sweet as brew.
I'll probably have lambs too.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
You might have to have a lamb cam.
A lamb cam? That sounds terrible.
We might have to have some lambs may make an appearance during a live stream.
Oh, my goodness. Now, I've just realized something here. Is because I don't normally worry about the names while I am streaming, I didn't have our names up. Now I've got our names up. So hopefully that'll work. I don't know if it will. So let's just see. Banner go away. There we go.
Oh, yep.
Look, we've got names, everybody. We have names. Wendy from Beer Sheba Farm. Someone was like, Wendy who? Was it you should like Abby whenever she says stuff like that? Like stuff like what? I don't remember what I was talking about 4 seconds ago. Gail Smith is saying, now I'm feeling old. I started spinning 40 years ago. Yeah.
Well, I sort of felt like I'd always done it. Like once I really got going, I felt like I'd always done it.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like when I'm teaching spinning, I describe it as while you're learning how to spin or crochet or knit or pretty well anything, you're like crouched over it and you're like concentrating so hard. But the second you sort of realize it's working, you lean back and you relax and you sort of get into it a bit more. And once you lean back, that's it. You feel you're like, if you could, you'd basically have your feet up watching television. It's just like, I got this. You need a GoPro on a stick. Oh, you need a GoPro to stick on the lamb.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
That could be drunk making.
That could totally be doable. That's not beyond the realms. Here we go. Look, you could have a lamb cam on your Facebook page. Oh my gosh. Melissa says maybe I should be spinning during this live stream instead of crocheting. It is up to you.
Yep.
Deb D's being a smarty pants. Deb, rearrange this well-known phrase. And then we're going, see, I can say that, and you know what it means, don't you, Deb? Yarn Dragon says that spinning is something on her to-learn list. So, and we all have things on our to-learn list. What's still on your to-learn list, Wendy?
I have to get better at weaving.
Yeah.
But I just get caught up, and I can't sort of sit down, and I'm steadfastly refusing to do crochet because there's got to be something I can't do.
All right, okay, yeah.
After I got someone said to me, "Oh, is there anything you can't do?" And I'm like, crochet. I can't crochet, so therefore I am not this. You can't imply that I'm some perfect. Hey, I can't do that either.
Yeah. So you could learn crochet and leave it and then just go, I can't tat. Sorry.
But the thing is that my grandmother can tat or did. So that means that I'd probably be able to do it. So I probably very, very careful with these things.
Yeah.
I reckon it's in your genes. I still reckon it's in your genes because you know how there's some things you can just pick up and you think, I don't know why I was able to pick this up so quick. I was like, I don't know. It's just there.
Well, you know that my mum doesn't craft and neither does my grandmother. So it has to be ancestral for me then. John says that he's only got 57 rows left on his queen. Good going, John.
I discovered that my several greats grandfather in Scotland was a linen weaver. So there you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, my family heritage is Spanish and Scottish. So
he was from Scotland.
I'm sure there's some sort of crafty people back there. We got
absolutely.
Debbie Carter is new to the chat. Welcome to the Fiberific live crafting chat, Debbie, where we hang out and craft. And thank you. This is a new finish for me. This was what's the name of this pattern again, chat? I can't remember. Magic Monday, Manic Monday, something Monday. I don't know.
Finished Monday.
It's finished. And the reason why I keep saying it's finished, like it's a thing, because I just about never finish anything. So I start things all the time. Lisby says that she needs to do more spinning, but Woody, her dog, hates it when she does. Game Widow says that she can't cook. That's her failing.
Oh.
Crochet with
got
Claire
someone to
come
cook
back
for
at you. She's clapped back. Crochet's easy. No such word as can't. Bob and lace ends badly. Yeah, won't. That's right. You won't crochet. That's different. Deb's poking the bear. Deb, we have this conversation here, Wendy, where there's a few things that rile me up. Okay, the list is actually quite long. And one of the things is, if I just hold 2 planes of 4-ply together, does that give me an 8-ply?
It gives you something.
Well, it does. It gives you more like a 10-ply, but yeah. And so Deb does things like randomly asks, like, look at this. If I have a strand of 4-ply blue and a strand of 4-ply red, will I get a purple DK? The answer is no. At all. No to both. No to all the things. Freaky has a question. When you spin wool, should you sit in a swivel chair? Now, Freaky is a smart aleck. I do. Like you. I think, but Freaky wasn't expecting serious answers. So yeah, it is. I'm just having a quick scroll through the chat here. Someone's told me what the Magic Monday. Thank you, Kim. I'm so glad you remember what I've made. Melissa, really? You start things all the time? Yep. Deb, who's joined for the first time, likes to crochet, knit, and cross stitch. That's awesome. We are highly encouraging of multi-craftualism here. We do not just crochet and not just knitting and not just spinning, but we try to. I'm very bad at balancing it out, but I do try to do a little bit here and there. But I do a lot of crochet on camera because it is my first craft, and so I can concentrate on all of, all the tech here and crochet because crochet is easier for me. But I still spin sometimes. Like I've got my spinning here, but my hands are warm and I'm enjoying them being warm, so I don't want to cool them down because my hands have been cold for 2 days. Jackie Doyle says crochet is not my jam. Fair enough. Jackie's a phenomenal knitter and spinner. So, you know, it's okay not to be everything. Lisby says, I won't felt. That wasn't fun.
Not on purpose.
Oh.
It's when you manage to do it.
John says that the red and the blue would be purple if he let his ex-wife wash it.
Oh, depends how good your dye job was.
Mm-hmm. Although some people have got skills.
Yeah, well, I really think it comes down to the pH of your water. If you up the pH a fair bit, and then you give it a bit of a hit, then yeah.
Bit of heat, bit of acid, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. Yeah. Gail Smith says that bobbin lace and tatting, impossible, and needle lace. I actually haven't tried bobbin lace or needle lace. I have tried tatting. It ended in tears. It's not to say I won't try again, but probably not this week. Gosh.
There's only so much time.
John says that we're polystitchual. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a fight by the mods as to who left the pattern for this up first. Go for it. Fight. Do you know what we should have? We should have all them up here like dueling. Is that John's? John, is that your excuse? So like you didn't just buy it like that? I'm not putting it up to talk about, but there is a comment in the chat. Stacey says, I start all the things and I have a lot of different things going at once, but they do get finished. I mean, no, not here. Oh, here we go. Kim with the other thing that makes my blood run warm. Add salt to color set wool.
Oh, really?
Well,
I mean, you can, but
it's not going to work. You'll have salty wool.
It's very, fisherman's jumper.
Very fisherman's jumper. Oh my goodness. Oh,
I already have acidic waters, so I have more trouble with dyes setting before I'm ready.
Well, you know what? Like for you, it would be good to add salt because adding salt to acid dyeing, it actually slows down the dye intake, so that you can put your yarn in to the to your dye bath, and the salt in it slows down the uptake of the dye so that it actually becomes a more even dye.
Okay. Yes, yeah. I hadn't got round to finding any Glauber's salt, but
yeah,
a little bit of bicarb can change the pH of the water, and then it's a little bit less inclined to rush.
Yeah,
I find.
Yeah,
that's
salty
if I really
to go with her personality. That's for Kim. Oh my gosh! Wow. So, just to mention the elephant in the room here, I noticed that you are wearing something slightly unusual.
I'm wearing wool
for the modern woman.
Yes.
What is it that you are wearing today, Wendy?
I'm wearing an outfit based on what working women in the 18th century would have potentially worn.
Wow.
Channeling my historical ancestors. Okay. I have Drysdale sheep, and Drysdale sheep produce carpet wool. Carpet wool industry in Australia is pretty... So I need to find alternative crafty uses for my carpet wool.
And most people don't want to spin carpet wool, so you can't sell it to the hand spinners either.
It's a bit challenging. It comes out like twine. So depending on how you spin it. If you spin the undercoat by itself, that's not too bad. That's sort of more normal. And then my eye was caught by references in historical about historical outfits that various things could be stuffed with horsehair or wool, and I went, that could be interesting, right? And of course it was a pandemic. I thought, right, well, I'm just going to have to make one of these things. And then I thought, well, a bum pad looks really by itself, like,
yeah, it would
so
look
I thought,
odd
well,
with a t-shirt.
yes. So then you have to go the whole hog, and you have to make everything, because of course it's an undergarment and it's a structural thing that helps. Because in the 18th century, the big thing was having big hips and a big bum.
I was totally born in the wrong century.
And if you didn't have it, you didn't change your body to get to it. You made your
bum
clothes
roll
to make that shape. So bum pads, yes. And they're even called bum pads, even in the 18th century. So
really?
The word bum's been around an awful long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We have a question from Kelly Pole for you. And she was wanting to know if you've ever thought of venturing into raising yaks, as they're supposed to be okay for people allergic to wool.
I don't think we've got yaks here, have we?
I don't think we've got yaks in Australia.
No. And I deal with sheep. I'm short. I prefer sheep. Just quietly. I'm not really a cattle person.
Yeah. Yeah. And yak is definitely leaning more towards bovine, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
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 Now, I have to try and work out how to get my phone to charge up. This is not working too well.
Okay. All right. Well, if you need to drop out, let me know.
No.
And then you can get yourself techie sorted, and we'll go from there. There's lots of bustles. Chaos Creator says bustles. Aren't bustles usually a like a cane cage?
It's a whole bunch of different things, and I suppose people use what they had. So some pads were actually padded with wool. I've got one which is over there where I can't reach it, that's stuffed with like just washed wool as is. The one I'm wearing is stuffed with just the outer coat. Remember I said the Drysdale has an outer coat and an inner coat, and the outer coat's sort of hairy and about this long, and so I thought, well, this could do a good horsehair approximation.
Yeah.
So I shoved all that in there, and it's very warm. I was looking forward to wearing it at Bendigo. I thought this will keep me warm. I had a built-in, heat pack on in my lower back.
That's for those of you that don't know, the shed that Wendy and I are often in this are always in the same shed. That may change now because I cancelled early, so who knows what that'll mean for me and my future Bendigo ventures. But we're normally in the same shed, and calling it a shed is probably
it's a shed.
Generous. Well, the doors aren't closed, and
it's got four sides
that aren't always closed.
Yeah, but there's two big open doors, and of course the main door, you're sitting directly opposite the main door, so if the wind blows, it's straight onto you. Whereas I'm around the corner a bit. Oh
my goodness. But yeah, it's very cold in the shed. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen next year? I don't know what's going to happen next week.
It was, if we had been there, the Friday and Saturday were thoroughly miserable wet days. Sunday was okay. Oh yeah, it would have been pretty darn miserable. But apparently they'd had really big pre-sales on tickets. So
oh well, I mean that's a good thing. It's not good that they had to refund all of that. But it's a good thing that there were people willing to go. We've got some just comments coming in about the attire. We've got Game Winner says bum rolls were also used as support for the weight of the skirts.
Yes. So all your undergarments are helped to carry the weight and spread the load. So if you're wearing a bra, if you're a girl, or you've got something tight around your waist and then it's heavy, well, the undergarments are all structured to evenly distribute the weight of all the things. So it's actually more comfortable. I'd rather run in a pair of stays than in a bra.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
because there's nothing
we've
on
got-
your shoulders.
Oh, okay, because it pushes up like supportive
It
rather
just
than
holds
pulls
you
up.
holds you around the middle rather than, you know.
Yeah.
So I agree with John. I've been nothing like lockdown. I've watched a lot of costubers.
Yeah. Yeah. Gail says, I've got some yak to spin so soft they're like buffalo. Yeah.
Well, there's certainly some buffalo in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there bison here? I don't know if there's any bison here. I know that bison fluff is nice to spin.
I think there might be some bison.
Because I know that
it's so warm in most places. I can't imagine that
they wouldn't cope very well. Like, I'm just trying to think, where would they have been?
Huge.
Like, that would have been cool enough in Australia.
I have seen some stuff about them. I think there's one place. Maybe it's in New South Wales.
Maybe
it's got them.
I am not sure. So, Wendy, I'm drooling at that teal fluff that's directly over your shoulder. I'm trying not to stare at it too hard. Other shoulder.
Oh, it's the same one, but this is the Castledale one.
Yeah.
And that's the Castledale one, and that's the merino one.
How do you choose your colours? Like, what makes you decide I'm going to make this colour?
It used to be pretty random. I just feel like making teal today, kind of thing. Then sometimes I get semi-organised, and I look at the wall and I go, oh, I don't have any of this colour or range of colours, and so I think I better do something in that thing. If a Bendigo, I wrote down a list of all my colourways and nearly died and said, I can't get all that done. So I did some.
Yeah.
And
for those of you that are watching from the US or don't understand what Bendigo is, in Australia, the Australian Sheep and Wool Show is held in Bendigo, and it's the biggest wool and yarn event in Australia. And it's held just once a year, and it was supposed to be last weekend. And just as all the stall holders were starting to set up and get everything ready, their state went into lockdown. So all of the stall holders had to madcap, pack everything back in their cars and get out and be back in their accommodations by 6 p.m. that night for their lockdown. And it was a bit insane. So luckily, Wendy from Beersheba here has her own website. So, I mean, taking all those photos and getting it up online would have sucked hard. But at least you had that, like, backup in a way. So we're going to flash your website up again. Woohoo, if I can.
Woo-hoo. There
we go. So if you want to get your hands on any of that amazingly gorgeous fluff, and I just have to say, I am a huge fan of Castledale. I'm spinning Castledale right now. Yep, Castledale. I love the Castledale. I prefer it over merino personally. And I try to describe it.
It's a very easy spin.
It's so open and it just wants to be spun. And, you know, because felty hands, the merino is a mess for me. It just felts in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Whereas I have a fighting chance with the Castledale.
Yep.
We've got a link here. Someone's popped in a link for the Sheep and Wool Show. Lisby's saying, I'm loving the colorways behind you, Wendy. I want all the purples. Well, they are available on her website if you're quick and Melissa hasn't beaten you.
Yeah, and there's a couple actually that I meant to put on first thing this morning, and of course I forgot, didn't I? So they'll probably come on in the next sort of week, but yes.
John's saying you need more green.
We
don't know what's hiding.
With green.
Do you know, greens and blues I tend to have a lot of and then struggle with getting other colours.
I didn't. I normally have a lot of blues, and they didn't go as fast. I did have some greens, and they sold out straight after Bendigo.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
So I don't think I've got one left.
Oh, look at that! I love that semi-solid with those hints of yellow through it. Is that merino?
That's
or
on the merino.
Castledale?
That's the merino. That seagrass.
Oh no! I'm just.
I have to do some more on Castle. No, I have to do some more.
So it's called.
I'll try and get it done in the next week. Yeah. Because I mean, they never come out exactly the same, but
no, it's hand dyeing.
That's right.
Where are we? Freaky asked a question. Will there be anything sold, what with the lockdown? So not at the show, Freaky. Everyone had to pack up and go home. So there is a list of Bendigo vendors, and Jackie's just popped that link in there. So if you wanted to jump in and support any of the Australian small businesses that were there and had to go home. And I was having a discussion with Dyed by Hand Yarns. And I said, because she added me into her big thing that she was doing of businesses that are affected by the Bendigo not running. And I said, while I appreciate you adding me to that list, I'd already decided to not go. And I've actually already received all of my refunds for accommodation, everything back. And I said, the thing with these people is they'd already checked into their accommodations. They were at the venue. They had spent the money on the additional stock. They had traveled. And so they have all of these costs that they're not going to be able to get back, that they just had to. Wendy is doing something. So I'll just while Wendy trying to find a cord. So you guys can have a good look at Wendy's stock there now that she's moved. And so there's all these people that they were out of pocket by so much just by trying to be there. So especially if you are in Australia and you want to support Australian businesses, go and hit that link and check out and see if there's something that they love. Original Sally is wanting to know if you sell any either already spun or if you have any you sold yarn last year. Are you still selling yarn?
Okay. I'm selling yarn. It's just not mine. Do you want me to put the earphone back in, or do you want to?
You're okay. I'm going to let you talk because a courier's just arrived. So
okay. Oh, okay then. Yes, I have yarn, but not from my own sheep. Sorry, I just had to plug in and recharge the phone because it wasn't recharging earlier. So excuse me as I don't look at my mess. Don't look at my mess. So we have some yarn. That's an Australian merino with nylon, spun in Australia, dyed by me, but it's not my wool because I haven't been able to afford that yet. So these are 120 gram skeins for 400 meters, hopefully. Anyway, they're up on my website. It's hard to get a good picture, and I apologize. It's very hard walking around with a tripod, and I've got hazards, Oh dear. So yes, apologies. But hand spun, no. Look, honestly, I take forever to hand spin stuff. I get caught up doing other things if I don't. Yeah, well, hopefully she's, getting as a courier sorted out. I don't get couriers come here. They just go, no. The couriers give it to Australia Post and go, there you go.
No, Abby's expecting something and she keeps messaging me, is it arrived? And I'm like, not yet, Abby, you'll get a notification. We're being asked in the chat, what is the name of your teal on your website? Is it called teal or is it called something else?
It's called teal. This time around it's called teal. So I've got some teal on Duchess and actually on all three bases. I've still got some teal.
What is the difference between your bases?
Okay, so
sorry, Wendy, we just make you keep getting up.
Yeah. I have merino, and then I have my Castledale, which is the crossbred from my farm. I called it Castledale because it sounds better than crossbred. Perhaps a bit more meaningful. Yeah. And then my Duchess range is basically the merino, and then put a little bit of Castledale for a bit of boof, and then a bit of as well. Yeah. So, and it's really cool and fun to dye.
Awesome. It looks amazing.
Because-
I've got some of the Duchess just here, and I love the thread of silk that you see through it. Like,
Yes.
I'll see if I can, let me just see, because it's white on white over here. I don't know if it'll work. Oh, hello. Sorry. I'll just move my teacup aside. Can you see that thread? Oh, you can see it easier on yours. Yeah. So there's like you've got the wool, and then you've got this like beautiful thread of silk running through it in a few different spots.
Yeah,
so
we didn't.
I was going to ask, was there a reason why that wasn't blended a lot more? Like, I personally love it. Like, this is not a criticism.
The more you blend, the more you blend it, the more it costs. One.
Yeah.
Because it has to go through the machines
multiple times. Yep.
Yep. And then I thought, well, it would show up a bit of that, and it's only 5% silk, so it's not a huge amount. Like, if there was heaps and heaps of silk, I'd probably blend it through
more,
a little bit more. But it's the last lot was they wanted to try and get it a perfectly even lot of silk through, so the sliver weight's a lot lower. But that's what happens when you get perfectionism on the go. So
yes, sometimes done is better than perfect. Ruth Young is just wondering, what time period is your dress? I know you mentioned it before, but if you could.
I've got to the point where I'm so confused. Sometime in the 1800s, I think till late 1800s.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing about my get out of jail free card on that is that women in rural areas didn't have the fast changeover of fashion.
Yeah.
You know, you literally wore stuff to death. And they'd be wearing stuff that'd be, 40, 50 years out of date, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, because it was in the wardrobe. Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I've got fairly plain colours. And didn't, well, also because I intended to wear it at Bendigo.
Yeah.
So it had to be warm. So, this is wool, skirt is wool.
Yeah.
This is wool rather than linen.
Yeah.
I have to make a linen one, but this is wool. This is really, really nice. But,
wow. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful outfit.
Thank you.
We've got lots of Duchess love happening in the chat. Lisby says, I want to try the Duchess. It looks so nice. You will love the Duchess, Lisby, honestly. Absolutely love the Duchess. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Castledale. But the Duchess is just so nice. Like, and I think the reason I think the reason I like the Castledale more than the Duchess is I always feel like, what am I going to use the special one for? And then it sits there and doesn't get spun because I have to have a plan. I have to plan it out. Whereas with the Castledale, it's like guilt-free spinning. I'm like, yeah, I'm spinning because I want to spin, and this is nice to spin.
Okay.
So like that 5% of silk in the Duchess makes me go, no, it's too precious.
I did a shawl, a lace shawl with the Duchess.
Yeah.
But I don't get many projects finished because I just...
My life.
Between all this stuff and then the sheep and various other things that I do to take up my time, I have trouble getting on.
Is your flyer hitting your band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very possibly. Yes. And it's got a little bit noisier, to be honest.
Which wheel is that one?
Rose.
Yeah.
But the bobbins have always been a bit noisy on this one.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to... I was told, they're new bobbins, they'll work in. Maybe I just haven't spun enough yet and worn all the edges off them.
That could be it. You could try the new bobbins. You could also, sorry, Margie Craft dealer brain jumping in. You could also try, you know how you've got your little brass flange that's at the back between, like near the wood? So it's on your flyer bar. There's a little round brass. Yep. There's you could use a little 2 2mm Allen key, loosen it, slide it forward a little bit and tighten it back up. Your bobbins will shake less.
So when you say forward, are you talking towards the head or
towards yourself? Just a little, just nudge it a mil or two towards yourself.
Oh, yeah, because there's a gap between.
There's a massive gap. So you still need a bit of a gap because otherwise it'll stop it from spinning, but you don't need a big gap.
Okay.
So
Were
that
you
might be
hearing
something
it
worth
before
trying.
or just when I've had the...
No, just then. I didn't hear it before.
Yeah, probably because
and it's not annoying. I was just more like, oh, what is that noise?
Oh, yeah. I understand. I'll plug you in then.
Oh, we have got some questions. Can you ask Wendy about the advent calendar? Oh, she can't hear.
Yes, I'm going to try. I will do some advent calendars. I've been holding it off because I'm involved with something else, and it's coincides a little bit the wrong time of the year.
Yeah.
But I will probably have some really quite limited numbers on the advent calendars. I've been doing fibre ones, not yarn ones, fibre ones.
So Melissa has recently started spindling, so she might be up for some fibre advent calendars.
Fibre? Melissa knows about the advent calendars.
Yeah.
She's had one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Melissa. And so the full advent calendar is 50 grams a day for basically December.
Yeah, that's a lot of fibre.
Before Christmas. Yeah. And then 100 grams for Christmas Day, plus maybe a few extra little things. So, and then there's a mini, and then I did a 12 days of Christmas one, which is 100 grams a day.
Wow. Gosh.
So I haven't put those options online yet. I haven't. Yeah, it works out to over a kilo. No
matter which way you go.
The 12 days, there is a mini version with only 50 grams for the 12 days.
Yeah.
But I figured there were lots of yarn ones around, but there wasn't a lot of sort of fibre ones, so I started doing it that way. But they're a huge amount of work to try and make them pretty.
And I've never gone down the advent calendar route just because of that. It's a lot of work. And you have to be on top of it early, and you have to take the pre-orders, and then you've got to get it out the door. And
and it's I'm going to have trickier with postage now because of the like Australia Post. They've reduced the size.
They have
like all the, and they're really sticking to
cubic now. Yeah.
And I went
even for small parcels, they're charging cubic now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I've taken to, like, if I have to really send something not in one of their satchels or whatever, I make it very odd shaped, so it's exceedingly impossible to cube.
Measure. I could just see your local Australia Post stuff with you coming in with your weird shaped parcels, and they're just like,
no, they just go, oh, cool, we don't have to do anything with that one, and then they just put it through and then weigh it.
Oh, awesome.
They don't want to sit around and cube it either.
No.
But yeah, that's a problem. And of course, I really like the idea of sending out an advent calendar. It's a nice big box, and then you get to open this box. It's really cool. But of course, Australia Post is against us.
Yeah. I mean, like, the reality is you could just charge it out, work out what Australia Post will charge and add that price. And if people are willing to pay it, then
I do try and build it in. I try and build it in so it's not quite so. But the question from Melissa.
Do you have any Duchess in Peach Blossom and Shadows close by?
In Peach Blossom, yes. In Shadows, we've sold out at the moment.
Okay. So which one's your Peach Blossoms? Sorry, Wendy.
It's on the other side.
Oh, wow. It's a beautiful, soft apricot-y pink.
Yeah. with sort of, it gets like it sort of splits and you'll get sort of yellowies, kind of like if you had a blossom and it's got a bit of yellow with the pollen. It's kind of
that's beautiful. And look at how fluffy and lofty that is. Honestly, that just looks amazing. That looks amazing. Oh my gosh. There's tricky stuff. Australia Post makes Game Widow's advent calendar awkward as well. Yeah. Chaos Creator says vacuum sealed bags. Not all fluff likes to be vacuum sealed.
And to be honest, I actually did that the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And I discovered it's a huge amount of work.
Yeah.
And then to do each one, and then there's a huge amount of plastic.
Yeah.
And then they were these rigid little things, and then you had to somehow get them to go into, and they actually didn't fit into the satchels quite the same.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't squish, they couldn't mold.
Yeah.
And they couldn't sort of, so I'm thinking I'll change tactics this year. I have a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan. I've got a plan.
I have a plan.
I have a plan. And hopefully it'll work. But normally for the advents, I make them in, I try and have, because I want people to get what they want.
Yeah.
So, like, if they tell me I hate yellow, then I won't put yellow in.
Okay.
And if they want just merino, or they want just Duchess, or they
purple, Melissa. Jackie's asking if you are planning on dyeing some shadows.
In Duchess, yes.
Okay, cool.
Shadows is turning out to be one of my mainstays.
Yeah,
it's colorway. It's really useful.
Gosh. Melissa is like, I may need that peach one and the shadows. Gail Smith is wondering if Peach Blossom is Peach Blossom in Castledale. So that one that you held up before, that was Duchess. But do you do Peach Blossom in a Castledale?
There's one on the website at the moment.
Okay, there you go.
The one behind my head.
Okay. And do you notice that there's like, you know how when you dye different bases, the dye changes? Yeah. Does it change a lot between your two bases? Or three bases, I should say?
It can. There's a good one. The green one was a good one to show the difference. I did that afterwards. Can't see behind myself now, can I? So that's a Peach Blossom in the... It's a bit darker. It's a little bit darker than on the... I don't know, for whatever reason. So that's Galar on the Castledale, and that's Galar on Merino.
Okay. It's slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pinks are a bit more pinker. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, a bunch of the colours that did show up a difference, they've gone and sold. So I haven't got them to...
No, that's okay.
But good. Just as a difference between the... hang it there. So this is Vampire at Dusk on Duchess.
Yeah. I'm gonna make you big so that we can see you. There you go.
And then this is just on Merino. This one's the Merino. Okay.
So the darker, deeper colours strike more on the Duchess.
Yeah. I mean, look. I may have done it slightly different. There's a certain random element to my dye. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
I write notes, but they're not. I'm not, down to the nth degree and the nth temperature and the nth timing, and they're, rough notes.
I know what you mean. I'm the same. I write a recipe, but like all recipes, whatevs.
Yep.
It's like I've got one recipe that requires like a half a teaspoon of one thing and 1/32 of a teaspoon of another thing. And if that 1/32 is such a small amount of dye that if there happens to be like within that pot of dye mix that's a blended color, if you happen to get slightly more pieces of the other color and you can't tell because they're just brown, then it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
And of course, the brown is made up of all these different other dye particles, anyways. Like
exactly right, exactly right.
It's one of those sort of things that just seems to want to the browns especially. Like I decided to embrace the colors wanting to split, which is why Duchess is so fun.
Yeah,
I'm all for. I'm going to get one color. I'm going to put it into the pot because that's easy, just one color, and then I hit it with the acid at the right time, and bingo. Because the silk takes it up differently, and then the Castledale take it outside. Oh yeah, it's all a bit of fun.
Oops, hang on a second. I wanted to cheer Lisby because she's only got 14 rows left to go on her queen. Kim's saying I need to make larger quantities and then portion it out. Like, that's my response, Kim. My official response.
I found that I was mucking it up. Like if I did that, I'm much better off to do it in one particular pot, and then because if I make up a base sort of dye liqueur and then try and split it, it's never I
don't know what the deal is. Like I watch other dyers who do that, right? So La Bien Amie in France, she does it. And they will set up like 10 pots with 10 skeins of yarn in each pot, and they make up this huge container of their dye, and they've got a ladle, and they ladle it out, and it's like a measuring cup ladle thing. So they're, measuring it, and they're great. I try to do something like that, and I just end up with this weird amount left over at the end, and you're just like,
yep.
Where was that supposed to be? Who's is short? That one was short. And then you can't add a bit onto it because it just dyes differently once you add it in a second time.
Yes.
Jenna Guthrie is saying that she heard somewhere that brown is technically a dark orange. I think in the color wheel it's technically a dark orange, but when you're talking about companies making browns, they could have any colors in them. Like I've got one brown that I split specifically because there's purples, oranges, reds, and greys mixed through it, and it's fantastic for splitting. It's a nice brown by itself, but when they're making the browns for dyeing, it's a different process than color wheel mixing.
Yep.
Yes. John O'Brien is saying brown is not a color. No, brown is what happens when you accidentally mix all the other colors together. Oh dear. Melissa says that she's buffering. Melissa, I'm hoping it's just you. My connection, unlike last week, says I have an excellent connection. So, I mean, it could be lying, but you know,
I'm getting it's not buffering for me, and normally it would be.
Yeah.
Although I'm finding I've actually, it's how I can see the comments. I've got the tablets set up on it under a different name.
Yeah. Oh, so you're lurking in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I'm lurking.
Who here is lurking in the chat? Just stick a 1 or a me or something like that if you're lurking in the chat. Just to check out who's lurking. Except for Wendy, who can't with her other login here. Lots of people are saying that it's all good, so it must just be Melissa buffering. But Melissa also says brown is ugh. So I do things like I'll make a really pretty color and then put a brown speckle over it. Melissa's like, you ruined it.
I've got to admit, I'm not really a brown person. I don't find I can wear it or anything. Yeah. So I think that's what, like if you can wear a color, I don't know, is there anyone else you sort of feel the same, that if you can't wear it, then you're sort of subconsciously not attracted to it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Melissa's like, isn't the point of lurking that you aren't commenting? Like, one comment's not going to kill you if you're lurking. See, look, Kim, there's people who are commenting. Jackie says we have 27 watching. Hey, hello. Oh my goodness. Brown speckles from Chaos Crown. I like a nice brown speckle. Now, not all browns are browns. Let's just go ochre Aussie there. Not all browns are created equally. Some browns are better from others, and some browns break better, so they're better for speckling. So yeah. Lisby says that she hates yellows and oranges and reds because they don't work with her red hair. Whereas, like, for me, I pretty well can get away with just about any color. Even a nice chocolate brown, like not a light brown, but a chocolatey brown, I can rock that. Also chocolate.
Chocolate. I'd rather eat it than wear it, though.
Truth. Absolutely. I quite often accidentally wearing it while I'm eating it. Like that little crumb, like when you bite and there's a little tiny crumb that just drops off and then melts on your shirt. Just like
always on the white shirt.
Well, I try not to wear white because without fail, I'll do something like decide that's the night we're having spaghetti bolognese for dinner. You know, and then while I'm cooking it, you know, when it like blobs and you like got all these like speckles of spaghetti sauce on your shirt. Leanne says, no, I'm not like that at all. I love all colours, but actually wear very few different colours.
Okay, cool.
Oh, John, I am not sharing that one, but yes. Oh, my goodness.
Yep, let's not go there.
Yeah. But I know there was a dyer in the US and she named all of her colorways after really graphic things, and it was very popular. And yeah, it was just insane. And there was names that John would appreciate. Yeah, lots of people commenting on how much information John's willing to share. Oh, tea. I'm just going to top up my teacup because I bring my tea thermos so that my tea can stay hot. Top up. Oh, goodness me. You know, I'm such a stinge that now, because when I make up the tea for the live stream, I've got the tea strainer from my cup because I make a cup as well as the entire thermos, right? So I've got the tea cage. It's got a name. I don't know what it is. The bit that you put your leaves in that goes in here. And then I've also got the tea strainer thingy, cage, whatever's, that goes on here. I've actually got them sitting in a bowl inside because I'll use them again to make another thing of tea. Because I'm so stingy.
Okay, true story. Back in the 80s, early 80s, must have been about 82, because that's when we had some really big bushfires down here because we had a bit of a drought. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm up here at the farm, and there'd been a lightning strike several days. Oh, it was almost a week before. Yeah. And it actually travelled. The fire travelled underground. Oh my goodness. Until it got to just at the edge of our place. Anyway, so it flared up, and our local CFA came out, and it was all awesome. And my enduring memory of that day was at night. I was only in my early teens, I think.
Young. You were young. Very young. I was young. In the 80s.
Making sandwiches, you know, for the, you know, the firemen and stuff. Yeah. And making tea for, you know, like a huge batch of tea for, you know, the guys to go out. And they had a special, I think they must have had like a special billy or big pot or something that they were going to brew it in. So you don't put in a whole heap of tea bags. They had a pantyhose of stocking, and they shoved a whole heap of leaf tea in it and shoved that in, and then that was, and I'm just like,
it worked. It did the job.
Well, I suppose you add boiling water, but yeah.
You're really hoping that's a fresh, unused packet of pantyhose they cut open for that job. Oh my gosh!
I know. You'd want it to be very clean. And then the other memory from that was everyone making sandwiches at the kitchen table, you know, to take out to these guys.
Yeah.
And it was the time of year when you get a lot of bugs and things because it's the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And there's no fly screens on at the old house. So there's all these bugs and gnats and stuff around the light, which is directly above the table, which is
so bug sandwiches and dive bombing. There's just pepper in the pickles. What are you complaining about?
That's right. There's a little bit extra protein.
Yep. I actually have a memory. I don't know when it was. I just remember I was young. I was living on Stradbroke Island, which is an island not too far from off Brisbane, and there was massive bushfires there. And I lived at Amity Point, and at this stage, Amity Point was blocked off. The only way to leave was on a boat. You had to go to the beach, and they were actually evacuating the township onto the beaches. But before it got that bad, we were around the corner, like as a kid, making sandwiches for CFA. And just like I wasn't on coffee because I was too young, but I was big enough to add the pickles to the sandwiches. So, and just knocking out the cheese and ham sandwiches with the pickles, just knocking them out. That's basically what our CFI fighters live on, isn't it? Ham, cheese, pickle sandwiches.
Well, now they're not allowed to.
Coffee.
Now they're not allowed to do that. And
really?
Unless they change it. Yeah, they changed the rules because of, you know, food hygiene and safety. And
because someone was making them fly sandwiches.
So the last few years I've heard stories about the CFA, and they've gone to take food up to them, and they'll go and get KFC and McDonald's and take that up.
Oh wow. Okay. Which
I have issues. I don't know how that's actually better.
No. But they have a food safe kitchen, so
I know, but by the time it gets delivered, they're not at the
right temperature anymore. Yeah.
Anyway, sandwiches. Them's the rules nowadays. They could have changed. I could be mistaken. If I'm mistaken, I apologise.
And it could be different from state to state as well.
Yeah, that's
because they all run under different rules and things like that. But when I did it, it was way back when I was little, like 7 or 8 or something. So we're talking, you know, a few years in the past. Here we go. Game Widow says, my brother was a chef in the Grampians when the fires went through. His boss was the local fire captain. When his boss rang, told him to cook everything in the kitchen and get it ready for the CFA. Well, I mean, it's a food safe kitchen then, isn't it?
That works.
Yeah,
that's much better than, you know, some of the junk food alternatives.
Yeah. He was then the last one evacuated because he was making the food. Oh my God.
Very important.
That would be terrifying, but amazing that he did that. There's a lot of people who won't do that, who won't jump in and who won't help out. Should we have a look at the results of our poll? Has everybody voted on the poll?
I did. I voted right at the start.
I will close the poll in 1 minute. So if you have not voted on the poll, you need to vote on the poll. Well, you don't have to. I mean, I'm not your mum, so. Oh my God! Abby and I were having a fight over who is expected to clean up after her, and I've actually stormed out of your room going, "I don't know who you think I am. I'm not your bloody mother," and walked off. And Tim's just turned and he's gone, "Actually, you are." And Abby was all I can hear. Abby yelling from her bedroom, "Burn, Mum, burn!"
Watch it, Abby. That's what'll happen, or your stuff will get burnt.
Oh, awesome idea. I've got a great spot that it could go. Because it's cold. It's so cold. We could really warm things up.
Well, if you get desperate enough, you see,
Melissa has said, got to go, but she's had a great live with you, Wendy. Not me, but with you. She'll be putting in her Duchess order, and we'll be looking for the Advent calendar when they're ready.
Okay. Thanks, Melissa.
Keep an eye out for Melissa. I think this is actually Melissa Coles' first Advent. I think she was clarifying that earlier that she hadn't had one before.
Yeah.
I love that, John. John's got a comment about an argument he had with his mum one time. Jackie says that she's supposed to clean up after herself. She's 16, has a job, and is learning to drive. Welcome to adulthood. I know. Oh, we were cracking a joke about that. Sorry, Wendy. Hijack time. And I was just like, Abby, you're actually more qualified to cook food than I am. Why can't you cook dinner?
Well,
like,
you can always
have qualification, Mum, but you have the experience.
Oh, well, there's always the option that you say, yes, I will clean your room, but I only clean the room with a garbage bag in a hand now.
Oh, I like that. I definitely
Tough
like
love.
that.
Tough love. See, it's easy for me to say because I don't have any kids.
She's getting a lot better with cleaning her room. It's more of a case of getting her to bring her laundry out. She puts it in her laundry basket, but then expects someone to come in and empty it.
On the floor?
Well, I'll consider that and let the dog play in it. Louis the puppy loves laundry. Loves laundry so much. Clean, dirty, he doesn't care. He just loves laundry. Fun. Yeah. And so I'll come home like from having done school run or been out of the house for like not even an hour, and it'll be like, okay, like you can't just bring people home with you anymore, right? Because you do not know what you're going to find in the doorway. You open the door and it's just like, oh, Abby, we might need to do a load of s'mores for you, honey. Because it's like he lays everything out.
Oh, how very thoughtful.
And I'll put this one over here. And then when you come in, he's sitting on one with it in his mouth. He's not chewing on it. He's just got it in his mouth. Like
as a comforter.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with Yarn Dragons here. How better to get experience than just to do it more. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. So, Wendy, this week I made this.
It's very pretty and very dramatic.
Pretty. It is very, very eye-catching. I've moved all my hooks into it.
Yes. Nice.
Even though my hooks were in a beautiful little Fiberific pencil case, it was probably just a dash short for the kind of hooks that I have. I made this one this size just because I happen to have a commercial zip this long. I actually think it would be better just a bit smaller, like just a little bit smaller. I tell you what, you know when you make something and you 100% regret the yarn that you're using? And you're just like, why am I looking at this? Like, why am I using this yarn? Oh my God, kill me now. This yarn was so softly spun that it just felt like I was splitting nearly every stitch.
Oh.
And it was just so much work. I'll change camera angles. There you go. There you go, Freaky. Does it look
from here
like that?
It looks fine from here. From here, it looks fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You need from here. It looks great too. But when I look at it up close, more that I was like, oh God, split it, would have to pull the stitch back and do it again. The other thing is, because I've never done this technique before, my zip's a little ripply, which is, I'm constantly like going like this, like,
Yeah. I'm not very familiar with zips.
No, me neither. I'm getting better, but yeah, it was a lot of fun and it was so easy to do. I'm going to turn it inside out. The other thing I loved about it, you could carry all the yarn. So other than like at the start, like when you're working onto the zip, there was a bit of ends to sort out there. Everything traveled up the side. So you can't even see where it traveled really. That was the join edge. Oh yeah, no, that's the travel edge. So that's where it traveled. So I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. That was great. But I think the next one I want to do with more colors, and I'm like, I'll have to, deal with all the ends. John
Unless you actually just have one skein and you actually pattern dye it before you actually
Oh yeah, that's right. Do like a long color repeat or something.
Yeah.
Gosh. Ruth has been browsing your website. I'm assuming it's your website, not mine. John says, if I didn't have the pink, I'd take that off your hands. I love that green. Yeah, the green's fantastic. It's just and like I've actually got this yarn in 5 different colors. Like I've got orange, yellow, green, teal blue, something else. I can't remember. There's something else. But yeah, it just kept splitting. It was just too softly spun, I think. I'm going to try it again with the Katona. The designer recommends the Katona. That's her favorite. But yeah, I love that I can just throw everything in there. My phone fits in there too. Look at this. I can throw that into. I worked that out because I had to carry like 4,000 things out to the shack this morning. So I was just like, there we go. Carry that cup, tea, thermos, all the things.
The advantage of this kind of outfit is that you have pockets, and they're big ones because you make them yourself.
Who was it? I think is it Game Widows who's made a thing that you basically tie on and it's 2 pockets?
Yes.
I need something like that in my life because I don't understand why do so many women's clothes not have pockets. Like I'm thinking about my outfit right now, no pockets. The outfit I wore yesterday, no pockets. And I'm just
whereas when you've got big skirt, you can hide your pockets underneath. And when they had, you see the pictures of them with these huge wide things going on.
Yeah.
Like that's not pockets. That's like whole carrying bags in there. I mean,
yeah, that's like a shopping bag.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Kim says sew a lining. I don't want a lining on this bag. It's the point, Kim. It's supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
She said sew a lining and then you don't have to weave in the ends because you just leave the ends live in there. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Game Winner says she's going to send me the pattern instructions. I mean, that's good for at home, but I probably wouldn't wear it out of the yard. Kim says, I love that dress that had pockets big enough for a packet of Tim Tams.
Yes. Actually, I was intending the good thing about these ones, or even, I suppose the ones that are even bigger, is that they're so big you could get a hot water bottle in there. And I thought, Bendigo.
Oh my gosh. How amazing would that be? Can you imagine like a nice like kidney pack hot water bottle at Bendigo?
Yes. Well, because I don't need that because I've got the wool pad on my lower back now. At the moment.
Do you think you'll try again for next year? You'll wear your wool dresses and Yeah?
Yep. I think so.
I'm not sure what next year's going to bring. We'll have to wait and see what next year brings.
Yep.
Because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself now. Because last year I was like, no, next year Bendigo, no worries, next year Bendigo. And then I was just like, Kim and I had a big discussion while we were away at the Crochet Guild retreat. And it was just too big a risk.
Yeah. And as it turned out,
and it turned out it was a very good decision. I actually had a few people message me going, you made the right decision. I'm like, I did, but, I still really feel for like you and the others that got all the way there because you are local to Victoria. So,
I mean,
now
at least
I've just posted. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. No, you've posted your results.
I've just posted the results, and it's a lot closer than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It might depend on where people are living.
Actually, that's probably a very good point as well. That's a good point.
I mean, I'm biased.
Oh, yeah. Look, and for me, it's a tough call between cotton and wool because I love working with wool and I love what wool does, but I also live in the subtropical Queensland.
Yeah.
So I tend to make most things out of cotton. Kim says, I think the positioning of where I'd want the heat pack would make me look a bit weird. Leanne
I'm sure there's an outfit that we could work there somewhere.
Oh, we could do something. That would be a lot of fun. Leanne says some people have been using an inexpensive pencil case and then crocheting the mosaic straight over the top instant lining.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can pick up dollar pencil cases. I mean, sometimes that's cheaper than the zip. Depending on
easier than having to install a zip.
Yeah, you just have to stitch onto it still, but it's less necessary for it to be super secure. So, yeah. Jackie says, yeah, Jackie says, I've got a lot of wool from this dryer based in Brisbane. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, no, it's definitely an odd situation for you guys down there, Wendy, because this is the fifth lockdown in Victoria. Has country Victoria been in lockdown 5 times?
No.
So
last, even I think the original one we all had it right at the very start was sort of don't go out, blah blah blah, and then Melbourne got locked down and we didn't have the same restrictions, thankfully, because we had no cases. Then this one and the last one we had, it's still blurring. Have been, we're not supposed to go more than 5Ks. Well, if I didn't go more than 5Ks,
you couldn't get to the shop.
Wouldn't even get halfway to town.
Or fresh bread for you.
So, but I suppose I've got sort of one small advantage in that being a farmer, you're an essential profession, so I've got a little bit more freedom than others. So it's been useful. So especially when I have to take a whole heap of parcels to the post office. Which is a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. It would have been easier for them to carry it themselves from you at Bendigo.
Yes.
But this is not a bad second place.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't get everything listed on the website that I had to Bendigo, and part of the hassle was, the advantage of taking the fleeces is to Bendigo and people can look at them directly, is you don't have to worry about taking photos and trying to.
How hard is it to get a good photo? Whoops, I'll just pull that right off.
Yeah, especially when the colours don't want to show up right, or like you try and take a photo of even just a white fleece and the crimp doesn't want to show up properly, or something, and you can't convey how each one feels. And I find I like people being able to just sort of feel on themselves and
touch it and go, I'll have that.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a real nuisance. But anyhow, at least, we sort of got, I sort of got down there sort of vaguely thinking, how on earth can we go ahead?
Yeah. My camera just turned off because it's too hot, which it's never done before. So I'm just changing over to another camera angle.
Oh, okay.
So, whoops.
Oops.
I think because I set up and turned on early, and I do have the heater on in here, so it's probably a bit warm. Face cam. It's been a long time since we've had face cam, guys. I'm going to let it cool down for a bit. I hope you guys can still hear and everything.
Yep, we can hear. Well, I can.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, I'll just talk with my hands over my cup of tea.
We can all see how much you haven't drunk.
Yeah. Well, no, because I keep topping it up with hot tea.
I don't have that. I have to go over and
top it up with
turn
more
the kettle up
tea.
again. And yes.
Yeah, and Kim says, plus you have the heater blowing right on it. It's not so much blowing on it, but it is keeping the warm, quiet room.
Yes.
Kim says you've got to lay on your desk now. Hi. Hi, everybody. I could just do this. Hang on a second. I'm not quite sure what kind. Let's just see what I just did there.
Yeah.
There you go. How's that?
That's the secret look. That's the
secret view that is not at all. Yes. I'm like quickly looking around to see if all the trash is visible. Okay. Can you use? Yes, I've jumped into the other camera. It just means because Wendy's here, so I've got to look here instead of over here. So I'm not looking at you guys, and it's not because I'm being rude. It's because I'm trying to see what's happening, and it's all over here. The room is quite warm. The room's lovely, but it is quite warm.
No, my room's fine too. But
yeah,
it was, I don't know, it would have been close to 0 outside this morning. It was fresh.
We got down to 7 here.
That's fresh for you guys.
It's very fresh for us. And considering that our heater in the house hasn't been working, that makes it extra. We have a brick and tile single-story house, concrete slab liner. We don't think there's any what's the lining they put between lino and the concrete? We think that's all gone because, like, we've lived in this house for 15 years. The lino was already old when we moved in and we have not changed it. And so it's like, you know, when you walk around on it all day, it feels like you're impacting hard concrete all day.
Yes.
So, yeah, and the heater hasn't been working in the living area. Our bedrooms, we've got heat, but not the living room. So you should see us like, I'll make dinner and everyone comes out and gets their bowls and runs back to the bedrooms.
That's not a very togetherness kind of thing, is it?
It's not, but I kind of get it because I'm like, yeah, see us. And I go out to the cold lounge room, but I've got like 5 blankets on me.
You should have, the oven going in the kitchen to warm the kitchen up.
Well, and but the kitchen's like right down the other end of the house. It's near the bedrooms. My house is shaped like a T. So you've got a bedroom, the kitchen, the other bedroom. So that area is nice. Then 10 meters this way is where I'm sitting.
Okay.
Underlay.
Ours is actually really similar.
Yeah.
But the back's on the slab, and then the long part of the T is on stumps. And that's where the heater is and the kitchen.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah, it is only about 20 now. It's cold.
That's what I've got my heater set for, 20.
Yeah. Well, and I have my heaters set for 20 as well. So yeah, which is probably why this one stopped pumping now.
I left my jacket down here. And so when I got dressed this morning, I had to come down with only half dressed.
Without your jacket? Oh.
It was fresh. And putting your feet into cold gumboots is not fun.
I can pretty well
it could be snowing.
Envision that.
It could be worse. Yeah.
Goodness me. Now, I'm going to make you big. I'm going to give you the whole screen again because I'm going to see if I can turn this camera back on yet.
Okay.
All right. Because it's still in my head, and you guys know what I'm like. I don't like it.
I'm not going to do anything like tap dancing or anything, okay? Because I can't do that. But if you want me to point at any wool or something, I can. Yeah, point
you guys
at wool.
In the chat, get her to show you all the pretties. All right, I'll still be able to hear, and you'll still be able to hear me. Okay. But I'm just going to make you big. You ready?
Okay, I'm just going to shift my wheel so I don't bump into things. Okay. I've actually got all the lights off in this room because it's too bright. I'm not very high tech like certain people.
I'm not high tech.
You are wonderfully high tech. So if there's anything in particular, I have to look down here now at the. Anyone wants to see? I've got fluff, more fluff.
All the fluff.
All the fluff. Except for the bits that sold out.
Lisby would like to see the dark purple behind you.
That one? That one or that one?
And John's disappointed. No, Freaky's disappointed that there's promises of no dancing.
This one?
My Molly is sitting here. She wants all the fluff. Daddy needs to learn to spin. You be a good dad, John, and you do that.
This one, Freaky?
That's a good one.
This one's violets on merino.
Violets on merino. I think that was Lisby who wanted the purple. Freaky wants to know, is that yellow or peach between the pink and the purple? Yeah, I think that's the one he's asking. That one?
That's a peach. That's blossom.
Okay, peach blossom.
On Castledale. Yep.
And Chintami is asking, what is the fluff? It is, there's a couple of different blends there,
this
Chintami.
One's Castledale.
So there's Castledale.
This one's merino.
Yep, and there's also Duchess just off camera, I think.
That way.
Yeah. Freaky says, nope, the next one over. So maybe the next pink one that's other way. That one. Yeah.
Pink?
What's that one?
Party girl
Party girl.
on Castledale.
Thank
Trying
you.
to block this bit of light coming through.
That's all right. It's all
It's
good.
very hard blocking all the light in here, actually, because I made it so light because of the dyeing and stuff and to save energy.
Yeah. Yeah, you have lots of windows. My living room is like that, and it sucks in winter because you've got all this glass that the heat can just escape out of.
This thing is actually better than I expected. This is single glazing. In our house, we have all double glazing. So
yeah, I've just realised I just need to fix my camera angle just a smidge.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry.
But you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. For now, let's see how long it takes to overheat again. Chintamani's asking, she's not heard of Castledale. What's it like to spin? It's like spinning butter. I'll just throw that out there. It's amazing. It's currently my favourite, Chintamani. Over the Duchess. I prefer Castledale over Duchess. I love Duchess. I think Duchess is awesome, but I prefer Castledale over Duchess.
Yeah, well,
for spinability and like how easy it is to draft and open. I'm just gonna hang on. There we go. Double cam, white on white. Woohoo. What I might do. Oh no, that won't work. Put that back on. I was going to drop something down. Do I have? Look at this. Oops. I have a blocking mat that's green. Okay. Green screen. Okay. So it just drafts just like beautifully. It's just gorgeous. And it's so soft, but it's soft but strong. Like, that's such a bizarre combination for wool.
They're about
something to be soft and strong.
So they're medium. In there.
But see, I think it's actually softer than a medium, if that makes sense. Like the actual.
It's got a very good handle for the micron.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We've got tufty bits. I'm making you big.
Tufty bits.
Actual staple.
So this was a this was a Bubba one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a bit of variation. It's not a true, like, technically when you're doing a breed, 7 generations, breed true, etc., etc. So perhaps I'm not quite there yet. I'm trying to find.
How many generations have you done so far? I don't know if that's a question I'm allowed to ask. So if it's not, just move on.
First batch was in 2009.
Yeah.
So it's really only 4 or 5.
So you're nearly there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, anyhow, get that right. Yeah.
Just lift your hand up just a dash so it blocks that sun. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I just need to shift myself.
Oh, yeah. Body block the sun.
Body block. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. It looks so beautiful.
So that's one of the
just amazing
longer ones. I mean, like, I picked the longer ones for hand spinners because some of them get a bit long for to machine process.
Yeah.
So, so that one's about 5 inches long. Yeah.
That's a good length. Is that too long for machine process? Because I look at 5 inches and I'm like, that's a good hand spinning amount.
You just squeak it. 6 inches, 150 mil is the limit. You got to think about how it's going to stretch a little bit, perhaps too, when you.
Yeah. Chintami's asking, does your Castledale just come in the white natural colour at this stage?
Yes.
Yep.
There's bound to be some dark stuff lurking in there, but they haven't.
They haven't shown themselves as yet.
Yep.
Got Black Cat from New Zealand. She's jumped into the live. Hi. I just quickly answer your question. This is each row is a different color. It wasn't a single skein of yarn. It was a bag of scraps. So I can't answer your question. Oh, I know I have used just all different 4-plies, but all hand dyed by me. So it's Pegasus and Sunflower, but random, totally random. And Bub is joined the chat. She's late because she's been mustering again. So I'm just checking. I'm just going through and just double checking the chat to see if we've missed anything. Bub says she's going to have to go back and watch from the beginning when the mustering team go home. It's like that. I think you'll love it, Bub. I definitely do. And thank you, Black Cat NZ. I love it. I don't wear many woolly things, especially in Queensland, but this is light.
And it's cold.
And it's cold. You know, it's cold.
The atmosphere is cold.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. So, like, you've got 3-4 different sheep breeds running on your property?
Yeah.
Is that right? So is it 3 or 4?
At least 4, yes.
At least 4, okay. Oh, because of the dry
and then they do
well.
things like, sort of get together and cause crossbreeds again and,
Yeah. Make life difficult for you on your sheep.
So some of them are racist and some aren't.
It's like, I shall not hang with you. You are not of my kind.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. You'll see one lot and they'll be up over there, well away from that other lot. You put them together as youngsters and then they're less inclined to do that.
Oh, wow. It's kind of like cats and dogs in a way. Like, if cats and dogs are brought together as kittens and puppies, they're fine. They just play together like normal. But if they come in as an adult cat and an adult dog, there could be like the cat sleeps here and the dog sleeps over there.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So you're cold.
I'm cold. I've warmed up now, like, because the heater's on. But like, I'm dreading stepping outside because I have no idea what it's going to be like out there. Because the shed casts all sorts of shadow as well. So when I first open the door, the air around the door is quite often very cold. Even when and then when I step out to the side and I'm in the sun, it's very different.
Okay.
So
you have a different shed set up to me.
Yes. So Lindsay says that that's just a blend then. Which, Lindsay, you need to clarify for us. Sorry.
The Castledale.
I think the Castledale's not a blend. It's a sheep breed, but the Duchess is a blend.
Yes.
Did I answer that right, Wendy?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, the problem with sheep breeds is that when you cross different breeds, the results are always variable because the percentages of what shows up is just this random thing all the time. So people think, I know what it's like to spin merino because I spun a fleece that was a merino. And you go, oh, really? And then you see it and you go, really? And they say, oh, yeah, it was crossed with such and such. And it's like, well, it's not.
It's not merino anymore. Yeah.
No, and there's a lot of variation. And so part of the thing about calling my Castledale was about having a particular type and branding it so that it would stand out or, sort of be known, as opposed to I can go down to the wool buyer and I can get crossbred wool, and it could be merino crossed border Leicester, or it could be border Leicester crossed white Suffolk, or it could be it's a fairly almost a meaningless thing.
Yeah, I know that when I was very first beginning to spin, my very first yarn, very first fleece or fibre that I ever spun was a Corriedale cross.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't specify what it was crossed with. All I know is mine was chocolate brown, and I liked it.
Yep. And sometimes for those ones, especially the coloured fleeces, they've got, the ewe might have been a Corriedale cross merino, and the sire might have been a Corriedale cross bond or something else, and so you start getting this Heinz variety kind of blend
It's just a
going on in the genetics.
It's a bits of sheep.
Yes.
Lisby's saying you've got dyed Castledale. The answer is yes, Lisby. Lots of dyed Castledale. Actually, on my spinning wheel right now, I've got Galar.
Oh, okay.
That I bought last year. Yes. Like, I wonder if no, my spinning wheel's over near the mess. So I'm not going to turn a camera to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
There's a line. That's the line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my gate. Sorry, I'm going to make you big again. Sorry.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, the pressure. I don't know if I can handle it. I'll have to look down here to see whether there's any questions. Because she's not putting the questions on the screen anymore. Yes, the sheep are not blinded, just blended. Exactly. Okay, so what else have we got? I do have fleeces. I've got. Oh, she's back. Phew. Sorry.
It wasn't my
you saved
gate.
everybody
I
else
definitely
from
heard
me.
my gate, but I don't know what's going on. It's very weird.
Oh, it's the ghost.
Lisby's going shopping. Do it. You won't regret it. Honestly, you won't. Chintami's asking, what's your favorite breed to spin?
Castledale.
Me too. Hands down. Like, Merino's not even getting a look in. I've got bags of Merino.
I mean, my Merino is... I love spinning my Merino too, don't get me wrong. And I love spinning the Duchess. But if I just want to sit down and do something completely and utterly mindless, then I'm doing Castledale.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just easy.
Chaos Creator is asking if you're addicted to the pudding balls or is it just us Queenslanders? You know, the pudding balls at Bendigo?
Yes. And I ordered some licorice because we didn't get any. Because
we weren't at Bendigo.
And I forgot. Yeah. How did I forget? Well, because I don't normally get the pud balls at Bendigo, I normally get them when I go down to Hamilton, and now Hamilton's been cancelled too. So I'm probably going to have to order some.
Do you know? I'm just going to just very quietly. If you
order
ring them up, they do. If you ring them up, you can get 50 pudding balls for $150, including postage. Just saying. Works out a lot better than buying the 6-packs.
Okay.
And they're pudding. They last for ages. They're wrapped in chocolate. So.
True. They last, and I know this.
Well, sorry, they stay fresh for ages. They don't last that long at all.
Except when you think, no, I'm going to be good and I'm going to save that one for later. And so they're in the jar and then you put it in a cupboard that you don't open very often. And then later on you go, months later, you open up and go, pud balls, yes. And discover that, yes, they are pudding and they last really well. And it just.
So buying 50 sound like yesterday I ordered 50. So buying 50 felt like I was ordering a lot. And then I thought about it and I was just like, no, I don't have to eat them fast. I've still got all the glass jars from last time. So I can divvy them up because I just bought, you can buy them, that 50 pack is just a pack. It's not in the glass jars. So you don't have to pay for that weight of the shipping.
Yep.
And so I've got all the glass jars, so I'll just be like divvying it up into glass jars.
Yeah. I've been using the glass jars for storing other snacks, but I think they could be repurposed. Yes.
They could be repurposed back to
and then you could stash one. You could stash one away and forget about it for a month or two, and then you'd be like, oh, really good.
Goodness me. Oh, here we go. Catering box. Kim says, ask me how I know. Kim told me how to do it, so I went and ordered it. Before we run away, because it is time to run away, but before we run away, do you sell your some hand-dyed yarn? Is that on your website at the moment?
Yes. I can't. I apologize. Some of the photos are not very good because I did them in a huge rush.
Quickly.
But and I upped the skeins from 100 to 120 grams to get the regain on this because it was natural merino was such that I wasn't getting a huge. So I've tried to make them about 400 meters.
Yes.
So they're 120 grams. Yeah. But there is some yarn on the website.
Okay, there you go. And there is the link for Pud for All Seasons.
Thank you, Jackie.
So
I'll have to go and check it out.
Yeah, we're like, we'll keep them in business. Can't have them going under.
Nope. Nope.
So we're like, Beer Sheba's good, puddings are good. Who else needs to be saved?
Well, the licorice seller, as I said, I got back home. That was one of the things I was going to organise a friend on the first thing on Friday morning of the show. I was going to get her to go and get my boxes of licorice. I got home and went, oh, we didn't get this.
No.
So then they did a special. So I like hit the online sale and I bought stuff. Bought more than I should have. I know, but
I feel the same way about the pudding balls. I'm like, I bought way, but I didn't have the drive from Brisbane to Bendigo to pick it up either.
So you said, oh, well, you saved money then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. All right. Well, I think you've just timed out, haven't you?
I think we are done for today. It is 12:02, everybody, and it has been such a pleasure having Wendy here with us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm not used to having someone to play with in the stream, so thank you for coming and hanging out and playing, and showing us all of your amazing things. Now, what we all need to do is go and hit Wendy's website. Try not to make it crash.
Yeah, please,
because that will upset us. Because we can't shop because it's crashed. So, take turns, everybody. Take turns. But it has been wonderful, and I'm so glad that you had the time and you could come and play.
That's all right. And then we'll be lambing next month, and I'll run my lambing blog. All going well. With lots of lamb spam and things. And then I'll be trying to. Normally, I try and have heaps left over so that I don't have to die during lambing. So, but this time I've got the Big Bull Show coming up, so I'm going to have to
gotta get back on the horse. On this. Get your lambing done and get the dyeing done for the Big Bull Show.
Yes, so, I've already had a few colours suggested, to try and get done in the next week or so. So
yeah, that's awesome. So you got a bit of time for the Big Bull Show, like a month. But with lambing in the middle of it.
That's the thing. Yep.
Yeah, that's the catch.
As long as I don't have too many to bottle feed, look, there's bound to be a couple. There's a couple of ewes that don't milk awesomely well. So I suspect I gave in this year and let them get pregnant. They really wanted to be pregnant, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully you don't have too many that you have to hand rear. And so your hands are free for other tasks.
Exactly.
Updates. Kim said updates in the special supporters group. Is that your special supporters group? Is that you?
Yes. Yep. I have a Facebook group that's just for my sponsors, which are called Friends of Beer Sheba Farm.
Yep.
So if people take out a sponsorship, then it's either a farm, a support level, or else a specific sheep sponsorship option.
Okay.
They're on the website.
Awesome.
But yes, then you can go into the Facebook page, and I tend to do more little live streams out in the paddock and stuff in those.
In the Facebook page? Yep.
Yeah. Less public, shall we say.
Yes, it's more for those people that are that are like hardcore,
who are supporting me.
Hardcore Beer Sheba supporters. While we're talking about hardcore supporters, Wendy, there's something I haven't done that I try to do every live stream, and I want to quickly do it now before I forget, which is I want my Patreon supporters. So I'm just going to bring that up. This is Kim's name is in the way. Hang on a second. Kim's name. And that. You'd think that it would hide everything, but the answer is no.
No.
So these are these are the Patreons of Fiberific, and I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who every month you come in and you make it possible for me to have the gear that we have here to run this live stream, so we can have guests like Wendy join us. And without you guys, that wouldn't be possible. That's an additional software that I need to use. And so a huge thank you to all of you that jump in and support Fiberific in this very cashy way, not just emotional support, which I appreciate from you all, but also this monetary support, which feels a little odd, but I'm adjusting. So thank you so much to all of you for your support every month. It's wonderful. And I want to go back over here and take that away so I can have Wendy's face again. Hello, Wendy. Sorry, I tried to do it at the start and we got sucked into what we were doing.
We did. But
we did.
Yes, the Patreons and supporters are very important. So thank you to all of them.
It is. It's kind of like when you realize people want to do that for you, it's also really humbling at the same time.
Yeah.
Like that just sounds so dodge. It's not dodge. I do, like, every time I see somebody new come in or somebody has stayed, I'm just like always just like, oh wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm sure you feel the same way, Wendy, when you get a farm supporter or something that they stay and they keep coming back for more lamb breeding news and all the excitement that happens that way.
Yes.
It's like they become part of the family nearly.
That's the word I was thinking of, but you came up with it too, so there we go.
Yeah, that definitely feels like that to me. Anyway, let's not get emotional, Wendy.
No. All right, well, I better head off.
Me too.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for everyone putting up with me.
Thank you so much for coming and hanging with us today, Wendy. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That's all right.
I'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time. All righty.
See ya. Bye, everybody.